everyone. Myself, Dr. M. Lakshmi Prasad, working as an associate professor in the Department of Data Science, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So, in this video, I'm going to discuss about what the various visualization tools and techniques. Second part of that, we are going to see that. So here in previous video I covered what are the various tools and techniques that are available for the data visualization. So here the some of the chart types that are available here is that. So for the categorical, hierarchical, relational, temporal, and then spatial. So these are the various types of charts that are available. So for each and every category of the data, so the what chart is going to be the chosen and then how it's going to be uh, represented. That is the thing we have to see now. So very first thing is that categorial. So that means the comparing the categorials and the distributions of the data. And hierarchical is the thing which is going to be represent the whole representation and hierarchies. And relational means that graphing the relational to explore the correlations and connections. And temporal is going to be shows the trends and activities over the time. And spatial means mapping spatial patterns through overlay and distortions. So these are the various things of types of data for that for the different types of data visualization tools and techniques. So mainly this categorical means we have to be compare the categories and the distribution of data. Hierarchical means where the charting part to the whole representation, whole relationship, and hierarchies you have to consider. And relationship means the graphical relation to explore correlations and connections. And temporal means shows the trends and activities over the time. And spatial means mapping spatial patterns through cover, overlay, and distortions. So very first thing is the bar chart. So for constructing this bar chart, how I'm going to write the hard code here. So normally this bar chart is the thing where we can able to show the relationship between the two different variables for independent and dependent variable. So these bar charts again will be of different types like composite bar chart and multiple bar charts. So multiple bar chart looks like this, and then the composite bar chart should be going to have different composition and scatter, and then and the bar chart where this the height of the each bar should also matches with the 100% of that. So like this, we're going to have different types of bar chart. Then how we're going to construct this bar chart or programming we're going to see now. So for that very first thing is that library have to be incorporated. So library of mass. So where you can able to extract some of these functions that are needed for implementing this bar chart. And just I'm going to take the school. So painters dollar school the symbol which is going to be combined it, and school dot frequency is equal to table of school. So we're able to extract the content of the school from the table. So that should be where I can able to extract from the Excel. So table of the school, and that is going to be stored on a school dot frequency. Then make use of this plot function. So bar plot and then school dot frequency. So where I'm going to extract the table here, school dot frequency, right? So from this I'm going to construct this bar plot. So by making use of this bar plot method, I can able to represent the plot graph of the school frequency. And suppose if I'm going to represent the title, so the title should be school wise number of painters. And next one is the tips and tricks of this bar chart is that so that the quantitative axis should be start with 0 and make the categorical sorting meaningful from the x-axis. And if you are going to have axis labels and don't label each bar with the value, so use for the comparison as well. Okay. So these are the things and tips we have to follow while constructing the bar chart. So what is the code for the bar chart? So library of mass and school is equal to painters dollar school is the thing, and school dot frequency is the variable where can I extracting the values of this table of school table. So by make use of this plot function, I can able to construct this values, and title should be given to school wise number of painters. And for the tips and tricks, so what I have to do, so make use of this quantity axis should be start with 0, and make a categorical string to the x-axis. If you have the axis labels, and don't label each bar with the values and use for the comparison. And next one is that clustered bar chart. So cluster means multiple bar chart. So for this attribute, I'm going to show the values of 4, 6, 8 here. So similarly for the attribute 4, what are the values? 4, 6 and then 8. And similarly for the attribute 5, so 4, 6 and 8. So like this, I can able to call it as multiple bar chart as well. So how are we going to construct this multiple bar chart in our course? So for that, first write the counts here. So counts is the thing, and then table function. So empty cost dollar and empty cost gate. So the cost distribution by gates, and then cylinders I'm going to show it. And number of gates here. So the third gate, fourth gate, and then 5 gates. So the same function, the bar plot, but here I'm going to take the counts variable, and then main is equal to cost distribution by gears and cylinder is the title, and x lab, so number of gears, so this should be the number of gears on x-axis, and legend, that should be row names count and besides equal to true. Okay, so this should be the result. So by based on these values, I can able to construct this clustered bar chart. So what are the tips? So the tips should be the same. Quantitative axis should be start with 0, and make the categorical strong sorted meaningful axis, that should be x-axis. And if you are going to have axis label, don't label for each one with values, and use for comparing within and across the clusters. So here, so what is the thing? So for implementing this cluster broader, the code should be counts. So that means I'm extracting the table of what I'm going to have, that should be empty cost by cylinders. So this is the table which we have by cylinders, and so empty cost dot gates. So by make use of this cylinder, I'm incorporating here, and bar plot is equal to same thing, and title name is given. So number of x lab, I'm going to represent the bars, and through column is equal to different colors I'm going to mention for this gray, light blue and orange, and the legend names counts and should be true. So dot plot is the other kind of the graph what we are going to have, and here, so through how the dot plot is going to be represented by make use of this hardcode. So here, so tt is the variable I'm exporting, and read.csv file. So I'm going to read the CSV, that should be Excel file, which should be named it as test.csv. So by make use of this read function, I'm going to read the CSV file test.csv, and ggplot is equal to data tt ss y country, that should be x percentage y country, and color, that should be, and then size values I'm going to take. So what are the tips we have to be considered for the dot plot? So the tips what are going to show for the dot plot here is quantitative axis should be start with 0. Otherwise the label axis clearly, and make the categorical starting meaningful, and the position of the point indicates the quantitative value of each category, and the size of the data can also be used to indicate the quantitative value. So these are the some of the tips we have to be follow while representing the dot plot. So dot plot should be very easy. First we have to be read the CSV file by through the file name, and through ggplot is the function. So we're able to draw the dot plot. So by taking data as well as this color and then geographical point values. So the tips what are going to be follow for this here is quantitative access from starting from step 0, and make the categorical sorting meaningful access through x-axis, and the position of point should also indicate the quantitative value for each category, and size of value can also be used to indicate the quantitative value. Here is the dot plot way of representing the data. And next one is that connected dot plot. So here the connected dot plot means we are able to represent the barbell dumbbell chart, what we call. So the name of this dot plot is that barbell or dumbbell chart. So how we're going to construct this dot plot? So use can explain here. So tt is the variable, and then we're going to read the CSV file through the file name, and ggplot is the value or function that is going to be drawn the plot. So data is from data.es, x and year, and then xn should be 2012, and y should be the country, group country, and then dumbbell. And we should also labels x is equal to null, y equal to null to this. And the tips what I'm going to follow is the quantitative axis should be start with 0, otherwise the label should axis should be axis value should be clearly. So make the categorical sorting meaningful, and position of the point indicate the qualitative value of each category, and size of the data should also be used to indicate the quantitative value. So the size of data can also be used as indicate the quantitative value. So these are the some of the tips will have to be followed for representing the data. So dot plot, so other name is the barbell and dumbbell chart. So similar things are going to construct this dot plot steps that make use of this read.csv, and through by make use of ggplot here. So we can able to construct the graph, and for this what should be we have to be follow some of the tips, and based on that we can able to construct the content block. And next thing is the pictogram. So pictogram also other kind of the thing we can able to present the data visualization. So what should be the R code for the pictogram is that, so man, so this is the variable, and through this I'm going to read the png, so man.png, and for pictogram, so icon, so I can be able to extract through this columns, so values, and then group labels like do's, champs, and then lates. So these are the values on y-axis here. So how many number of do's, champs, and mid little bits and lates are there? That should be the group label. So within the range of 0 to 10, and then 10 to 20 age, and 20 to 30 age, 30 to 60 age, like this I want to show it. So how can I able to do that? So man is equal to read png of file name.png, I have to specify, and pictogram icon should be man, or should be apple, or it should be whatever else we can able to take, and the group labels, so for the group labels, and we're going to take lates, champs, and then groups like this. And here also the tips and tricks should also same. So the quantitative axis should be start with 0, and make the categorical sorting position of point indicate the quantitative value of each category, and size of data can also be used to indicate the quantitative value. And another thing is that bubble chart. So bubble chart is also the thing how can you able to represent through the code. R code I will explain. So take a variable and make use of this ggplot. Make use of this ggplot syntax. So make x label, and then what should be this title, I mention it, and similarly the color, alphabet size, and then label size, and colors, whether it should be false or green, and like this. So the tip should be the interactive features can be added, and colors should also be used to make the quantitative sizes more distinguishable. So the bubble plot is the thing we're able to construct. So how the bubble plot looks like. So this is the data that is subject to the drawing the block bubble chart. Okay. So by seeing this is the data what I'm going to be injected in the bubble chart. So what it is here is so ggplot x lab and y should be the alphabets here, and then lab should title should be included state-wise public spending, and these are the other parameters what I'm going to be injecting in the bubble chart. So once that one is done, then this should be the required output of the bubble chart. And next one is that polar chart. So polar chart means this is the another way of present looks like a pie chart here, but here it should be looks like a spider web, which is going to be shown outlined in the form of tracks and sectors. How this will be. So for then the ggplot and then variable and then geogram bar. So what should be the width value, state value, and color value, and state y continuous is equal to breaks of 0 to 10 and chord polar. So polar chart. So make use of that and then construct the plot. So what are the tips we have to be follow for constructing this polar chart here? Fill with colors with a degree of transparency to allow the background to be partially visible. And the grid lines are going to be relevant if they are going to be at common scales across the qualitative areas. So the polar chart is the thing. So these are the tips you have to be considered while representing this. So fill with colors and then degree of transparency is going to be allow the background, and grid lines are going to be relevant if they are going to be common scale values across the quantitative area. So these are the some of these data visualization tools that is occurring for representing this. So chart type that should be categorial, so that should be comparing the categories and distribution of data. And hierarchical means charting the part to hold representation hierarchy. And relational means graphing relation to explore the corrections. And temporal means so showing trends and activities over time. And spatial means mapping spatial patterns through overlay and distortions. And bar plot is the thing where you can able to represent through R code. So that should be the library of mass, school frequency represented, and the block spot of variable how to be constructed. And next thing is the cluster bar chart. So cluster bar chart means where for the single variable can able to show the different fields like how many number of cars are going to be sailed through gates and then cylinders I have to mention for that. So this should be one of the example of this for representing the cluster plot. And next thing is the docs plot. So docs plot, so first read the CSV file and then incorporate the x-axis, y-axis and make use of that. Connected dot plot is the thing where you can able to represent the R code. So similar fashion you can also going to read the Excel data and so make use of ggplot. You can able to construct the connected plot by giving the x-axis and y-axis values. So pictogram is the thing where you can able to incorporate the read PNG, that should be man PNG, and pictograms that like icon man. So group variables, do's, charts, and charts leads. So like this, you can able to incorporate some of the pictograms for the choice. And next one is that bubble chart. So bubble chart is also looks like so by posting the data and table in the form of abstract syntax. So once that one is done, so all the thing is going to be represented in the form of bubbles. And interactive features can also be added and colors can also be used to make the quantity size. Polar chart is the other kind of chart. So where it should be looks like pie diagram, and so same thing through the Georgie plots for syntax only can able to construct it, identify the colors and shape, and you can also communicate good for this for the polar chart. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.